Heyo, and welcome back to Wonderlands Gamers. Today I have my Chaos 35 Graveborn companion build, which I pair with Spore Warden, but you can very easily switch it to Spell Shot if you'd like. It's primarily a Chaos Chamber mobbing build, which is a ton of fun spawning like 10 different companions at the same time and just watching them wipe the entire room full of enemies for you, while you just stand there throwing some TD or chucks out. Has plenty of damage for bossing as well. It's just not the fastest clear time compared to some other builds if you're like save quit farming, because you do have to stack up your companions first, but definitely has enough damage to do it. Raid bosses on Chaos 35 are way healthier now though. 1000% bonus health is extremely noticeable, especially seeing as our guns barely scaled up anywhere close to that. So the main 3 raid bosses, definitely still doable, assuming you're just like me and letting companions do everything. If you also shoot, clear times will be a lot faster, but I personally just watch the companions do it all. The Maker though, you'll probably run into an ammo consumption problem if you're like a casual player. If you min-max everything and you use pistols, SMGs, and the shotguns, then you'll probably be fine. But if you're just using pistols like me and you don't have primordial gear on everything, you'll probably run out of ammo because you'll have done the 3 raid bosses, there's nowhere to buy ammo, and TD or chucking constantly burns through a lot of ammo. That's pretty much the only negative though, because, you know, TDOs just love ammo, but everything else Chaos Chamber related, you can pick all the elite portals, you can pick all the horrible curses, and the build just vibes the entire way through, because companions just do so much damage. Now, for those that don't know the extensive amount of companions you can spawn in this game, plus their weird damage scaling, let me give you the quick rundown, at least of the ones that I would recommend. First, of course, you have the Demi-Lynch and the Shroom guy. From there, you have the TD or Chucks, or Fedora in this game. That's how you're going to spawn your army of minions. My personal favorite is pistols, though you can use SMGs and shotguns. Pistols are just the lightest on ammo, plus are the fastest to reload. The multi-headed Hydras are the ones you want to look for. You can get the single-headed or double-headed, but at Chaos 35, you want to go the triple-head ones. These guys benefit from companion damage, regular damage, dark magic damage, and they stack the all-important Faithful Thrall's skill, which, if you don't know, increases your damage of all kinds the more companions you have, and there's no cap of the amount that you can spawn, which is the unique ability of these guys. Second, we have the Chucks that turn into guns with wings. These guys get regular damage, gun damage, dark magic, and they can also stack Faithful Thralls, but you can only spawn 3 of them at a time. If you throw more of them, others will just despawn. Next, we have the TD or Chucks that turn into Pixies, a community favorite, which don't stack Thralls, unfortunately, but you do get companion damage, regular damage, dark magic, and spell damage, which is particularly spicy if you change up Spore Warden to Spell Shot as your secondary. You also get a little bit of ability damage from one of the skills in the Graveborn tree, but you can only spawn 3 of these at a time, just like the guns with wings. Our spells are a huge source of damage for this build. You can either go the Sigil route that also spawns Hydras at the same time, which stacks Thralls really quickly and also give you a bunch of survivability. I personally like the Pixie spells instead because they fly around hitting more targets. Either variant though gets companion damage, regular damage, dark magic, and also spell damage, which means they also get that little bit of ability damage from one of Graveborn's skill trees, skill tree abilities even. The Sigils that have 4 Hydras stacks Thralls really quickly, but the Pixie ones don't directly, at least. Every spell cast you do get a stack of Thralls anyways, because that's how Graveborn's capstone works, but you're not actually getting it directly from the spell, it's just that skill ability. For a melee weapon, you can use the Snake Stick, which also spawns Hydras with every melee attack. They're not super fantastic, but they are definitely a fun addition to the build. They get companion damage, regular damage, melee damage, dark magic, and they also stack Thralls, just not super efficiently because you do have to hit 1 melee attack for every single Hydra. And our final companion is the Dark Hydras as part of Graveborn's skill tree, which I'll go through in a second. But these guys are some of the strongest, benefiting from companion, regular, dark magic, and ability damage. They are currently bugged though, unfortunately. Even if you get 6 out of 3 points in Dark Hydras via some bonus ones from your class mod, you will be still capped at 3 Dark Hydras at a time. It's currently a bug. Once they fix it though, the cap will be 6 if you have those bonus points from the class mods, which will mean even more Thrall stacks and even more damage. As for our last few pieces of gear, starting with the rings, you just want companion damage at the top as much as possible. Of course, if you get chaotic, volatile, or primordial, you're going to have more of that. As for passives, you want to go for companion critical hit damage, spell damage, action skill cooldown. Any of those are good. And the ability at the bottom, if you can get a combination of all 3 of those, World Ward is not full is a huge one because that buffs it by 100%. And you're usually taking at least some damage for it to not be full. Or the new one from the DLC is pretty good as well. Increases effectiveness by 25% on a kill, which you pretty much do all the time. And then land sharks slash crabs increases by 100%, which that is a pretty common enemy in the Chaos Chamber. Shield options for this build, I use the Master Rune for survivability. 7.6 thousand capacity is huge just for a chaotic as well, but also has the unique ability of 25% bonus companion damage, which is of course huge for this build. On the right hand side, the Cursed Wit is just the low survivability, huge damage output, because if the shield is broken, you get 100% bonus damage, which counts for all companions as well. But I just personally don't enjoy getting one shot by most enemy attacks, particularly on Chaos 35. So I'm rocking the Master Rune, but if you want more damage and don't care about downing all the time, Curse Wit's a good option as well. Now, as for our amulets, if I'm going to be honest, I'm just too lazy to switch them out. I keep this one on all the time. Dark magic damage, Graveborn, and then we have a couple of useful passives here. Not huge, but this unique ability is the main thing we want. Whenever Fate Maker or Companion gets a kill, companion damage is increased by 20% for 15 seconds, and you can stack it up to 5 times, up to 100% bonus damage, which is huge for companion builds, of course. I have other elemental types in here for different situations, but if I'm going to be honest, I just leave the dark magic because everything is scaling off dark magic via our skill tree, plus it keeps us alive and in our action skill longer. Our class mods is the main thing I've been farming all week. I've been going ham on these things in the Chaos Chamber, and we finally have some really, really good rolls. One on the far right is the one from the previous video. My girlfriend got that because she has busted RNG luck. The one closer to me, though, I did manage to get this a couple days ago, and is a really, really good roll in the passives, as you can tell. Skill points, you want to be looking out for as many points in Faithful Thralls as possible. Currently, the Dark Hydra bonus points aren't helping us, but I'm going to keep it for when they finally fix it. And then, of course, you want Graveborn Power, Spore Warden, and then just any helpful passives. There's a bunch of different class mods you can use, like the Amalgam is just more passives. The Smart Armor is the critical hit damage increase. There's the new class mod from the DLC, which is good. I just don't really have any good rolls currently for a companion build. There is the converting damage to dark magic damage, is also a really good ability for this build. And I apparently don't have any in here at the moment, but there is also a couple class mods that converts companion damage to fire or frost damage, which are good options as well. Honestly, take any class mod that you can get really good passives on for all damage dealt and companion damage. Those are the two main ones you want to look out for. Moving over to our hero points. Now, I don't actually have these maxed out. I could go get the collectibles on this character. If you want more hero points, I made a separate video of how to max those out, but these are just from me leveling up and my myth rank points. I've fully spec critical hit damage and spell cooldown because we want damage and our spells to do more damage as well. And the rest goes into skill cooldown because having our action skill back, one, keeps us alive, but also increases our damage and our companion damage as well. And as for the beautiful skill tree, I'm going Graveborn and Spore Warden. No stress though if you want to have your secondary as Spell Shot. It's a great substitute. I'll show you guys a skill tree I'd recommend for Spell Shot at the end, but Graveborn tree stays the same regardless. Action skill, I'm going Reaper of Bones, really good action skill. No matter what health you're at, it gets immediately filled and will start draining down to 0. You'll get bonus dark magic leech efficiency though, and bonus dark magic damage for yourself and your companions as well. And when you're supposed to down, whether the Reaper of Bones action skill drains it itself or you take damage from other enemies, you'll actually become invulnerable for 3 whole seconds. So you cannot down no matter what you're doing, and it restores 20% of your maximum health, which is a fantastic ability because you just get bonus damage and you can't down. And then we got points spent. Faithful Thralls, like I said, this is our favorite ability right here. 3 points in here, and as many extra ones as you can get from your class mod is ideal. Increases our damage dealt for every companion we have out on the field. 12% per companion at 4 points. If you get 6 points in there, it's disgustingly good. Also, the respawn rate is quicker if for some reason the Mushroom or the Demi-Lynch are down somehow. Then 5 points in Essence Drain. It's the first of our many kill skills. This one giving our spell cooldown by 25% for just 1 kill, which is really good. 5 points in Dark Pact just increases our dark magic damage by 20% for us as well as our pets. Then we got 3 points in Harvest, another kill skill, which companions deal bonus dark magic damage for a duration. 9% dark magic per stack. You can stack it twice, so 18%. So all of these are working together. Then we have 3 points in Dark Hydra. Like I said earlier, you can't get bonus more than 3 at the moment. It's bugged, but once they fix that, if you can stack this up to 6, that is ideal as well because these guys are super strong. Every time either you or one of your companions gets a kill, it will spawn another Dark Hydra, stacking Thralls even further, and these guys do ability damage as well, which you can scale even further than the other ones. We got 3 points in Stain the Soul, increasing our spell's dark magic damage, which we're just trying to amp as much as possible. 3 points in Ascension, a huge kill skill, increasing our maximum health and spell damage by 60% at 10 stacks, which is a huge amount. 1 point in Lord of Edges. This one increases our damage dealt and damage reduction the lower our health, which is very often because our action skill literally drains it to nothing and then leaves it on 20%. So we're getting a huge amount of damage reduction and damage dealt from this. Then we got 5 points in Blast Gasp. This is that little bit of ability damage I was talking about from our spells, from our pixies, or our TD or Chuck pixies as well. Whenever Fate Maker deals spell damage, which is how they're getting it, there's a chance it will create an elemental explosion, dealing ability damage of the spell's elemental type to nearby enemies. Elemental explosion can't critically hit, but you don't need it to. Because both types of pixies just get so much different kinds of damage scaling, the Blast Gasp procs hit very, very hard. The last skill, Capstone, one of my favorite skills out of all the trees I've tried so far. Casting a spell automatically activates all of the kill skills, which if you weren't paying attention, that was a lot of kill skills. This one increasing our max health and spell damage. This one spawning more Hydras, doing more damage. This one increasing the dark magic damage of our companions, and this one getting us more spell cooldowns. So this, every time we spawn another spell, huge amount of damage output. For the Spore Warden side of things, of course, we always have our Mushroom Companion, which is great. They do damage, but also we have an extra companion at all times, increasing other companions' damage. 5 points in Kindred Heart increases our companion's health and damage by 45 and 40%, which is pretty substantial. 1 point in Spore Cloud, essentially the mushroom guy lets one rip, taunting enemies nearby and also doing poison damage to them. 5 points in Affinity increases our ability damage, which is increasing the Blast Gasp ability damage as well as the Dark Hydra's ability damage, which is great. And then one final point in Medicinal Mushroom. This is the main reason I'll pick Spore Warden over Spell Shot, because the Mushroom Guy can pick you up. If you're down from something stupid, the Mushroom Guy is there to save you from failing your Chaos Chamber run. That is a huge, huge ability. But if you're just built different, don't care about downing in the Chaos Chamber, you just want all damage, go Spell Shot instead of Spore Warden. That way you get Spell Weaving, which is an insane ability. Casting a spell or reloading, both of which we do all the time, particularly reloading with TD or Chucks, you get a stack of Spell Weaving, which increases your spell damage by 50% at max stacks, which scales both your Sigil Hydras, your Pixie Hydras from your spells, as well as your TD or Chuck Pixies as well. All get bonus damage from that. 5 points in reload speed for 40% faster TD or Chucks, stacking up Faithful Thralls faster, and just having more Hydras out for more damage. 3 points in magic bullets. For every buff you have to spell damage, 45% of it also goes towards your gun damage, which is great. 1 point in mage armor. Whenever Fate Maker gains a stack of spell weaving all the time, a portion of their board is restored. So you're just getting a huge amount of survivability from that, which you need for this tree. Then 5 points in Font of Mana, if that's how you pronounce that, increases spell cooldown as well as action skill cooldown by 20 and 15%, which is nice. This 1 point in here, I put in just warming up. It's a very minimal amount of fire rate increase for each stack of spell weaving. You can put this point in Glass Cannon instead if you want to use the Cursed Wit. It's an amazing ability if you want to use Cursed Wit, but it will heavily reduce your survivability. It means your ward doesn't regen anymore, but you do get 30% spell damage increase. So that is huge Glass Cannon vibe. So up to you guys if you want to try that one. And the final point is High Thread Count, which increases spell weaving stacks by an extra 3 stacks, which is insane for all of these abilities up here, but primarily the spell damage now stacks up to 80%, which is huge. If you guys enjoyed the video, feel free to subscribe down below for future builds coming soon. If you guys would like a PC save file, or if you're looking for a group to grind out the gear for yourselves, I have a Discord for that. I also stream to Twitch every night just after I post the videos. Both are linked down below if you guys are interested. And other than that, hope you guys have a fantastic day. Until next time, adios.